Oh, we are the greatest sports has to offer. Michael Jordan ain't my GOAT. Oh, that's LeBron James. Clap the fingers, and all of a sudden we have balance in the league now. Oh my goodness! Come on, man. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Of course, I need to see my Kings come out on top.
You can't be serious.
It's too strong.
Oh, that man hungry. Oh, he is hungry, man. Kiss the baby.
All right, here we go. Listen, you know what? I'm so excited about this show right here, man. I don't even want to do an intro, but who am I to skip the intro? Especially when I got my two heavy hitters on the show with me as always. And you know I got to start off with the $18,000 kid, Steve-O. What it do?
What up? What up?
And then you know I gotta have Mr. Football himself, Mr. Trey Wicks. How you doing, brother?
What's up, my bro?
Hey, listen, I'm glad to have y'all here with me today because, us three have our own little group chat, and us three got some stuff to say to each other. We've been arguing for a couple days. We have even followed the same recruits due to our teams going after the same type of recruits. So let's just hop right into it. Wicks, I know you ready to argue. So we're gonna start
He
with
knows.
let's start with the Hurricanes. We're gonna start straight with the Hurricanes. So they dropped a post about team bonding.
It didn't say team bonding. It did
It
not say
did
team
say
bonding.
team
No,
bonding.
it said this. It's the post that I was referring to was from your kicker saying there's no place better to be.
That was the quote tweet to the bonding from
Yes.
Ryan Ragon.
Yes, exactly. That no place
Right.
better to be, not because they're working hard, not because they're doing something great, because they ride on speedboats.
Because it was team bonding.
How is riding on a speedboat team bonding? Explain that to me. Team bonding is growing, learning to trust each other, communicating. They ain't
Okay.
communicating on boat. All they do is just yelling, acting like some. I don't even know what to say because I'll get canceled for saying something.
Well, the problem is all we saw basically was this little highlight tape. We don't know what they was doing on that boat. All I
Yes,
know
I
is
know what they were doing on that boat.
no, you're assuming.
They were
What
flexing. They were flexing.
Oh my
And
god!
I know what it was for. It's for recruiting. I don't blame them. But the recruits that had tracks aren't the recruits you want. Those are the recruits that when you don't do that every day, they end up in the transfer portal. They're the Nkosi Perrys who party every day, even on game day.
Listen, first of all, we're not going to speak on Nkosi because that's my guy. And honestly, we should have won a lot more games with him if it wasn't for those bum receivers we had. But back to the more important matters. It is team bonding because they were all together and they were all hanging out and they were all doing their thing. That is what that is literally
No,
the
team
definition.
bonding is building trust with each other, learning how to communicate. It's everything like that. You're not
They
getting
do.
no trust from riding
They
on no
do.
So
speedboat. They can't even
no,
hear each other.
so
They
hold
can't
up,
even
hold up,
hear each other.
hold up.
Let's see.
So quick question: Is just having like a cookout at the coach's house, is that considered team bonding to you, Trey?
If they're
He,
doing activities like playing games and stuff
I
where
think
it causes
I'm with
competition and stuff like
Marcus.
that,
If you, it's just like a team gathering. Like if you got the team with you and everybody just hanging out, having fun, I think that's team bonding. You
what,
don't
what do
have to
you?
like
What does Wicks want them to do? He want them to do the.
exactly.
He want them to do the.
I told you in the text by one. They could have
He
You
went
wants to see
fishing. They
them do
could have
the
done a
trust
scavenger
ball.
hunt against each other. They could have done a lot of
a
stuff. These
scavenger
mugs
hunt,
out here
Wicks.
just rolling around in a speedboat. And we know what
You
it's for. You guys are turning back into the old Miami. Nevin Shapiro's back, baby. Nevin
what?
Shapiro. Where's Ray Ray Armstrong on the yacht? That's all we're missing.
Oh my God! So basically, Hey, Steve, this is what Wicks wants. Wicks wants them to be at a barbecue, and he wants them to do the wheelbarrow relays, where one person holds the legs and they
And they
go
would
through a
have
race with each
just as
other.
much fun. They would have just as much fun. You know they would. Especially them linemen. Them linemen are who. If you've never played
Man,
football before, linemen are the coolest mugs on the football team.
they are. But you trying to get my man hurt over here trying to do the wheelbarrow challenge with the
Oh, really?
wheelbarrow relays at that size.
Rolling around about 120 miles per hour on a jet boat. Yeah, that nothing could go wrong there.
I mean, at least they ain't flying off.
We all know that because some of them ninjas be trying to do it for the gram. They be capping, so anything can happen. I wouldn't trust them on no boat.
Man, whatever. I see right now. This is how this show is gonna go. Y'all already done got my juices flowing. So let's start getting to the nitty gritty. Right now, we have two big things that's going on with college football. We've already discussed the NIL, and that's kind of slowed down now that it's starting to get in effect. So less people are starting to talk about it. So now let's talk about the effects of it, which is ultimately recruiting. We've had 5 stars commit left and right within the past 2 months. It's been a hot trail, and like I said earlier, our teams have fought over some of the same guys. Steve, let's start with you. You have
Your
one.
team's ruined the market.
I'm not talking to you right now. Steve, you have you got
Dante Moore.
you guys got one of the top recruits in the nation. What's going on with that?
All right. So obviously Dante Moore, he's been trending our way for probably the last month. Ever since he took his second not official visit, but second visit towards Oregon. And I mean, once you get that quarterback, the dominoes are going to fall, in my opinion. Because we had Dante Moore there, and then we have Richard Young. He's probably going to be trending towards Oregon because he was with the he just threw that in there.
Had to.
I don't care. I don't care what you're really rated. I mean, obviously 5-star is just hype, but just do it on the field at Oregon. You do that, you're good with me. But we got him on the trail. We had Jaden Wayne. I honestly think Jaden Wayne, if Cristobal didn't leave, he was going to be Oregon all day, every day. Who else did we just lose? I forget exactly who else we got on the trail. But, I mean, it's looking promising with Dan Lanning in Oregon right now in recruiting.
But do you like it better than when Cristobal was there?
It's about the same as far as when off-season hype, it's probably about the same. Because when Cristobal started getting those 5-star guys, stealing them from the Southeast and everything, all the Duck fans were all excited, being like, oh, we can recruit anywhere now. Well, kind of the same thing with Dan Lanning now. I mean, we just got Dante Moore from Michigan. Like, who would have thought a quarterback from Michigan would just go to Oregon, of all places?
I know about 4 million reasons why.
Hey, quick question, though. He said he got offered somewhere else for more. Why didn't he go there then?
Because it was LSU?
Because it's Nike. How are you going to turn down Nike? He's guaranteed a job as soon as, even if he's a flop.
Okay, see, now you sound like Thibodeau with that BS he was trying to spew up the other day.
It's not BS.
Every school has that, though. Everybody has somewhere they can get set up.
Yes, there is somewhere you can get set up, but not all of them are Nike.
Well, that's different.
That's global.
Yeah.
If you watch Country Rain, like Mike said, that's global. I'm global. That's what Kayvon Thibodeau was talking about, being global.
Yeah.
And I can respect that. Listen, I grew up an LSU fan. Bro. You know my family, Marcus. We're LSU to die. What's my little brother? My little brother, about 70% Oregon fan, 30% LSU.
Yes. And he's always been like that.
Because of Nike.
Smart man.
He has. As soon as Oregon came out with all those uniforms, all that flash and dash, and then Diet was around. It was so easy. It was so easy for that younger crowd to just follow Oregon. It was so easy.
Like you watch these facility tours. And you see, you go to North Carolina, they got Jordans and stuff. You go to Florida, they got Jordans. You go to LSU, you got Nikes and stuff. Oregon has everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, oh, you want some 5s? Oh, here, take 5 of them.
Right.
It's a resale. If you are a reseller as a shoe dude, you can kill at Oregon.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now let me ask you guys this. Let's say Oregon has an up and down 5 years. Let's say they get rid of Dan in 5 years. Do you think?
Get rid of him if he leaves. They're different.
Let's say you guys get rid of him. Fine. He was too up.
Yeah, I don't see him leaving.
Yeah, I don't see him leaving either. So let's say he got fired. Let's say something crazy happened, just been inconsistent. You guys fire him. Just basically what we've just talking on. Do you guys ever see Oregon's recruiting ever not being top 20 again?
Yes. That's easy. You get another Chip Kelly, and it's back to where they were.
Even with everything they have to offer these days.
Yeah,
And
unless
NIL.
they're going complete like I'm gonna buy every single player, Texas A&M, Miami style. But yeah, see, I can at least like respect it because like I know even though they have Nike, they're not going wild with it. They're at least like,
They
okay,
aren't. Yeah.
you buy a quarterback. I'm cool with that. Quarterback's the most important position. But then they're
Mhm.
still they could have got Jaden Wayne if they really wanted to. They could offer him the world. He's
It-
really
could've.
closer to home. And
Well, until he went to IMG. Once he went to IMG, I knew it was a wrap for us.
yeah, the Miami Bagman is an IMG right now.
Yeah, that right now. I mean, IMG boys normally don't even look our way, so it's kind of nice to see they're all kind of they're heading our way. And we got
I mean,
another one coming up next year in Desmond Riggs.
Oh, stop it.
I mean,
Hey,
Nah, he
hey,
coming DBU, bro.
hey,
He's DBU.
hey. You know he just dropped his top 10, right?
I know, and you
Yep.
saw who was
And
up there, right? Who was the
all
first
of
Oh, it's
our
in
Alabama
there
schools
pick?
are
too.
there.
I'm about to
All of
say,
our
all
schools.
of us are in there.
Only one of us is actually known for DBs, though.
See, and
No,
that's
two of
another
us.
thing. While we're talking
Woo.
about Oregon
Stop
recruiting,
disrespecting us. Stop
hold up.
disrespecting us.
While we're talking about Oregon
Yeah.
recruiting too, so
You gotta stop. I was listening to Steve.
if you look at like all these top recruits and stuff, even kids from the southeast or from like the just East Coast in general, a lot of them will have your typical powerhouse schools from like the East Coast and the South, and then they'll throw in Oregon because Oregon is basically turned into a national brand.
Because of Nike. We just went
Well,
over
wait,
this.
wait. Now I think there's another reason in that too, because USC has been trash.
So what you
I
think
would
if
say this.
USC goes back up, we're done?
If
Is that what you're saying?
if Oregon doesn't have them jerseys, they're not in no one's top 10. I'm sorry. It rains all the time in Oregon. It's not nice up there.
No,
It's,
don't give me that. It
it's
does
not
rain a
nice
good
up
amount.
there.
We have all 4 seasons for one. Don't act
You
like
can
it
have all
rains
4
all the
seasons. I'll
time.
keep my one. All I need is the sun, baby.
Well, some people hate that fucking heat. They don't like 90 degree, 100-degree weather all the time.
Jaden Wayne likes it.
He likes it enough.
But yeah, that's like that's what I'm saying. Recruiting right now, obviously, everybody committing now, you have to take with a grain of salt. Obviously, there has to be a season that needs to be played. There's more recruiting that needs to be done. It's never over until they sign on that paper. We're gonna go ahead and shy away from Oregon. LSU picked up some steam too. You know, they picked up a 5-star wide receiver in Jalen Brown.
I mean,
Took
Brian
him
Kelly can't recruit. So.
took him right out the palm of my hand. But it's okay because we kind of knew it. The same thing with you, Steve. You know, once you found out Jalen Wayne was in IMG, it was over. Once I found out Jalen Mama was in
The SIP.
Mississippi, I knew it was over for us too. So, Wicks, what's
Yep.
going on with y'all recruiting? Because I did see a couple more though, didn't we?
Oh, we got the craziest D-line class. Y'all can have. I wanted Jaden Wayne at first, but then last week happened on 4th of July. We picked up a couple of dudes from the Midwest. Top dude out of Minnesota, one of the best pass rushers out of Indiana, and that's not LSU recruiting anywhere but the South. That's crazy.
Right.
But
Yep.
you bring in Brian Kelly, and he's a Midwest dude. He has these Midwest ties. We got Jackson. You guys were recruiting Jackson Howard too, and got beat out for him. Jackson is a beast.
He is.
We got Mickens, who was a North Carolina lean, stole him from them. He's a beast. And I'm just throwing this in there real quick. Most people don't know this, but because no one follows Michigan State really, except for Michigan State fans. They had a rough week last week. They lost out on all their safety commits, and now they're melting. So if you have a 24/7 subscription, if you love reading melt boards, I suggest Michigan State because the boys are in it right now.
Man,
your boy is a troll. I am a troll. So I love seeing dumpster fires. That's why I love talking. That's why Marcus is my best friend because all his teams are dumpster fires. I just love talking trash to him. And that's how it is. Now back to LSU recruiting. The only thing we're missing right now, I would say, is like a top-notch corner. Our linebacker class is
corner,
but we didn't need linebackers.
I thought you guys snagged the 4-star corner this weekend.
Yeah, we had Dalen Austin, but he's okay. It's not
Yeah.
like our typical like class. Like
Right.
usually we would be in it for a Cormani McLean, someone like that. But we got Desmond Riggs coming up next year, so it's okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, whatever.
We-
I would say we're also missing a quarterback, but we're high on the list of a bunch of top 20 or 2024 quarterbacks. So all we got to do is find a stopgap.
yeah, just find
Yeah.
one guy.
We couldn't afford to beat out teams paying out $3.5 and $4 million. We all know who we're talking about.
That's
But
because you guys are looking into the future.
We're a top 10 recruiting class now. We're in the 40s last week. Everyone said Brian Kelly can't recruit in the South. He's doing a fine enough job right now. So
Now-
I'm happy where we're at. And we only have not even half a class yet.
Now, I know for Steve, you're probably the biggest guy you're probably keeping your eyes on right now for your class would be Richard Young. Obviously,
Yes.
neighbor, if you can pull him from Alabama, it's huge. Regardless on whether we think he's overrated. Number one running back, snagging him away from Alabama, that'll be big time. Now, Wicks, who do you guys have left on your radar that you would probably say you're following the hardest right now?
Nicholas Harbor, the best player in the country. What do you mean?
For one quick second, I forgot about Nicholas Harbor, but as soon as I asked you that question, I remembered all over again. Now you know that's another dogfight because we in there too, right?
I'm not afraid. I'm afraid of Georgia. That's about it.
Right. All I gotta do is get that brother on campus. He had to cancel. He had to cancel his visit
Oh,
already.
that's a shame, huh?
Yeah, wait till we get that brother on campus. You already know what time it is. The bag man is already waiting on his door.
I put Jamar Kane over any D-line coach in country. He just beat out a dude for Darren Reed of Columbus, Georgia, picked us over Ohio State. I got us against anybody for D-line prospect.
How many D linemen you got committed right now?
So we just picked up Darren Reed, Deshaun Womack, top player out of St. Francis Academy, Jackson Howard, Mickens. So we got 4 right now. And 2 of them could be Jack edge rushers. So
yeah, see with all these recruiting rule changes, man, you can basically snag however many you want. It's ridiculous.
The new recruiting rules are like perfect for the SEC. All y'all.
It is.
That's why it's better that became 2 conferences because the SEC, like I talked about the NIL deals, SEC, your scholarship is year to year. So I can get rid of you, pick up as many freshmen as I need now, and just restart. And that's how it works now. You literally could just wholesale a roster in a year.
Yeah. And that's why I need Miami to get in there, which they have to eventually, right? You'd have to. It'd have to be Clemson, Miami, Florida State, and North Carolina.
See, the thing you don't understand is we've been wanting Virginia in the market for a while.
Yeah, there's no way they want Virginia, man.
Y'all.
You can't. No,
when we were talking
Virginia is
about
not better than us in anything other than basketball.
Before A&M and Missouri came in, we were talking with Virginia and Virginia Tech because they fit the Bible Belt blueprint. You guys don't fit the blueprint.
Man, that's trash.
We already got Florida, and we take Florida State. That's overkill. We don't need y'all.
Y'all don't want Virginia, man. Get the hell out of here, man.
It's all about the Bible Belt, baby.
Man, get them bubs up out of here. Now, since you did bring it up, obviously that'll be the next biggest topic that's going on in the college landscape right now is these super ultimate conferences going on right now.
Yep.
It's seeming like it's going to be basically a two conference league, and everybody else is just fighting for dear life. Because I feel like if you don't get in these 2 conferences, you really don't have a chance of playing for the championship.
But the thing is, they're going to leave the NCAA. That's what this is all leading up to. And then the group of 5 schools that are left, they're going to have their own little thing. That's Division I football now. The NCAA is dying. That's why Mark Emmert's stepping down this year because he knows it's over. And as these teams start getting confirmed to Big Ten, SEC, it gets closer and closer to being done. And if your team's not in it, you're done with college football.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Basically, FCS level.
Right.
You might as well just move the HBCUs up in North Dakota State and just start over again.
That's what Daquan was saying earlier. He was like, basically, if you don't get in the SEC or the Big Ten, you might as well be a D2 school. You don't really
Because
have nothing left. What are you supposed to do? Have your own championship you can play for?
teams like Baylor and I would say Baylor, Colorado's on the edge. Probably I think Utah would get picked up. So Baylor, Colorado, Washington State, and Syracuse, schools like that. And if they don't find a home quick, they may get left out. And I think Syracuse, because of basketball, may get picked up, but
Right.
it's gonna be tough out there because you're looking. How big do you think the conference really could get?
That's what
Probably
I was. I
maybe
would.
20 to
You
30
have to
teams
max. You have to max it out at 20. 30 is way too much. At
because
Yeah,
that point, you might as well be your own league.
so if the SEC's at 16 right now, we're at 16.
I
So
believe
if
so. Yeah.
or we have 14. We're at 14. So or we're about to be 16 with Oklahoma and Texas.
Right.
So we can
Yeah.
add 4 teams by your logic right now. And it would be Florida State and Clemson are on MAC because they
Automatic.
automatically play SEC teams every year anyways.
Right.
So they fit automatically. Then would
Have
you
to be
add
North
Georgia Tech
Carolina.
back in? Georgia Tech is an old school SEC team, has SEC ties. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Back to Virginia. Virginia, they've been wanting Virginia for a while. One of
But
the
I
Virginia
think
teams.
I think they've
So
been wanting them for basketball.
either way, they got a big market. So they want one of those teams. I could see them if they don't take both of those, or they definitely are taking North Carolina team too. So that'd be the fourth. I could see them taking North Carolina because of basketball, but I could also see North Carolina being Big Ten because they care about education. And,
I like how he said that.
and SEC, we like education stuff, but we're all about championships here. So I can see North Carolina State also has that dog mentality, so I can see them being part of the SEC. I just don't see how Miami fits the SEC. You guys are a private school. Most SEC schools, besides Vanderbilt, are public schools.
Our public, yeah.
And there's a certain when you go on the road anywhere in the SEC, it's like just passion, everything like that. I've been to Miami games. Y'all don't have it like we do.
But see, that's the thing. No, as of recently, and that's the thing with Miami in general. That's Miami sports. People don't really get deeply involved and invested or show up to games because there's always something else to do. But
It's
besides
like
that,
California. It's like California. It's like one part of California. But this is where the difference between you and Florida. Them Florida fans
are going to show up.
When they're winning are crazy. They disappear when they're losing. And it's the nicest place ever. Florida's beautiful when Florida fans are losing. If you ever visit Florida when Florida has a down year, it's amazing. But y'all are, you're not SEC-ish. I could see y'all in the Big Ten facing off against Ohio State, going to Michigan. Everyone that would be just marquee. Notre Dame versus you guys, convicts versus felons again, because you guys are heading back that way.
That would be trash. That'd be trash.
That's what everyone wants to see.
Because we be
they
the
don't want
only
to see
team.
Miami versus LSU. They know what happens. We beat y'all down every time.
Man, stop this foolishness. Listen, we are going to go to the SEC because our market is there. We're good in a lot of sports. We're great in a lot of sports. We're great in
okay. So
we're great in track. We're known for football.
You said 20.
We're getting Virginia the hell out of there.
Okay. I keep on trying to explain this to you. They've been wanting that market. I don't know.
I don't care. I don't care what they want. That market can take their asses up to the Big Ten. We're going. We're not getting left.
I can see Georgia Tech getting in the SEC for Miami.
You just see that's that trolling stuff he talk about.
That's not trolling, bro. They have SEC ties. They were original member of the SEC.
What?
You know, I grew up a historian of the game.
Listen, Chris Bosh ain't carrying them boys all the way to the SEC, man. Get that crap out of here.
Listen, bro. All I know is they've been wanting that Virginia market for a while now. The only thing is the ACC buyouts were crazy as heck. Whereas Clemson and Virginia would have been out of that mug by now.
And I mean, speaking on buyouts, I also feel like it was easy, or it is easier, to do this basically super conference Because Notre Dame was selfish and didn't join the ACC when they should have.
Nope.
I think if Notre Dame
Why would they
came
join
there,
the ACC?
well, they joined in everything but football, but obviously they have their own
Exactly.
football
Why would
market.
they
They didn't.
leave?
Yeah, they didn't. They leave. They have to share their money.
When Steve talks about national brand, Notre Dame is a national brand.
They
If you
are.
go anywhere in the country, there's Notre Dame fans, and they have the biggest network. That's why they have the #1 recruiting class right now, because they're starting to use that network.
And because they have a brother as a head coach who can relate. They don't got Brian Kelly no more humping recruits.
Hey, we got a top 5 class though.
That's because y'all got they all logo
he was
whole
humping
way.
Mario Cristobal with that Jaylen Brown pickup.
Man, whatever. He was sliding in Jalen Brown mama, but that's about it.
Hey, don't disrespect his mom like that, bro.
All
Listen,
jokes.
Listen, I'll say it like this. I told you this before. No one should beat LSU for a wide receiver unless your team is Alabama or Ohio State. Those are the only 2 schools I could accept losing a wide receiver to, because we produce the best wide receivers.
So what about USC?
Why would they get a wide receiver over us?
USC has been putting out wide receivers.
What about Ohio State?
I just said Ohio State. That's
He
only Ohio State and Alabama. That's it. That's the only 2 things I can respect. If you pick somewhere else, you don't want to be great.
I mean,
you look at Jamar Chase breaking records, Justin Jefferson breaking records, Jarvis Landry breaking records, Odell Beckham breaking records.
Yeah.
We got backups that starters now. You look at what's his name, and he just came from Atlanta, he's signed with Tampa now.
Russell Gage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was a 3-star recruit. He was never supposed to make his NFL. He's a starter on the Super Bowl team now.
Yep.
You got DJ Chark.
You got
league from us.
You got Terrence Marshall, who's over there in Carolina, about to be a starter.
Exactly.
Yep.
So my point is, I respect Michael Thomas, Olave, which I'm open for a trade anytime right now.
But I can't wait till he ball out. I swear I can't wait till he balls out.
I can respect those dudes. I can respect even Jerry Judy, no hands having mug, Devontae Smith, and Waddle's a beast. I can respect Amari Cooper. Julio's a scrub now.
Yes,
Ben scrub.
He's so washed.
But I can respect that. Who am I going to respect? Juju Smith? That's their best receiver in the league. You're asking me,
man, Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman's a number 2 too.
No, he's a number 1.
Brown.
Amon Ra's nice. I like Amon Ra. I give you that, Steve.
And now they're about to have Drake London.
Huh?
And now Drake London.
We'll see on him.
Yeah, I agree. I just had to throw it out. But now I want to get Steve's opinion on everything, especially the relocating, because Steve, your team is like my team right now. We're kind of trying to figure out where the hell we're going and what we're supposed to be doing here. What do you see Oregon doing?
Well, I'm hoping we join the Big Ten, but it sounded like there was talks about joining the Big 12, which would make no sense since the Big 12 is like dead. Like with the loss of Texas and Oklahoma, I mean,
you should be jumping for joy. Yo,
I want to just dominate a conference. I mean, unless it's good competition. That's like going to the Mountain West and dominating. It's like
Baylor plays physical. Anytime they play a physical team, they usually lose.
Who?
Oh, please.
Oregon.
Jesus.
Utah, Stanford.
I mean, we lose a couple times. Yeah, we don't win every game. I'm sorry,
That's the difference
Trey.
between y'all being national champions and Rose Bowl champions.
Yeah, I mean, even with the Flash, we made it to the BCS championship against Auburn. I mean, and then Nick Fairley, because Dyer was down, by the way. We'll never let that down.
I'm just thankful. As a sports fan, I got to watch LSU win the championship as a kid. I got to watch.
Now it's probably over, so enjoy it.
I got to watch him as a teenager. I got to watch one as an adult. How about
Must
you, Mark?
Be nice.
I know.
Listen, I will go as far as to say this. This next football season, well, it'll be 2023, technically, is what they call it.
Yeah.
This 2023 season, the Miami Hurricanes will win 10 games. The Miami Hurricanes will finish with
I'll
a
place a
better
bet on that.
will finish with a better overall record than the Bayou Beagles.
I'll take that bet.
I like us to win 10.
I know
10?
you guys are gonna fumble it somewhere because I know your mind's not in the right spot.
Listen,
Chris, hey, all I'm saying, if you guys are going to win 10, Crystal Ball has to stay away from the offensive play calling.
listen,
Because
listen
if
to
he
And
me.
I think
Hear me
Gas had
out.
one good season at Michigan. All of a sudden, he's a offensive genius. There's a reason why Saban got rid of him.
Hear me
So we'll
out.
see.
Hear me out. Even me and Wicks, we've talked about this. Even if Miami chokes it up against Jimbo at A&M, even if we go to Clemson and get our butt spanked at the end of the year, that's 2 losses. That's
Yep.
technically 10 wins. So let's say we do have another choke game. Let's say we
Or
choke
two.
it up. Let's say we choke it up to Florida State. That now makes it 9 wins. We're still in the bowl. We win our bowl game. That's 10. I'm telling you, we win in 10 games.
No, you're not.
Stamp
Oh,
it.
my God.
Stamp it. I don't care
What do
how
you
we
want to
do
put
it.
on it, bro?
I don't
And we
care
got
how
this
we
on
do
video.
it.
And we got this on
You're-
video. So when I beat you in the bad game, what are we gonna put on it?
You tell me. I like Miami to win 10 games for $100.
I don't bet money. I bet meals. So
All right, okay.
let's talk about
Hey,
steak
hey,
dinners. Let's talk about steak dinners.
forget steak dinners. You don't like steak like that. I'll buy your
What?
next Raising Cane's meal. You
That
love
ain't
that.
nothing. That ain't nothing. That's $9.99. Get out of here.
All right,
I'm
it can
talking
be
about grown man meal.
all right, we can do that. I like T-bones, porterhouse, all that. Add the mushrooms.
Listen, I don't even want all that. I just want your dad to grill up for me. And you gotta explain to him, hey dad, I lost a bet. You gotta make
You got to
translate.
make this. Yeah, man. I like Miami to win 10. Steve, what's your prediction for your boys? But the way he
man,
laughed, hey Trey, the way he laughed, you know he want to say national champions.
That's
it's
always.
I'm
They
not
got
gonna
their
go that
season.
far. I'm not gonna go that far. But as much as everybody wants to hype up USC and Lincoln Riley and stuff, I think honestly, I think they're gonna only win 9 games. But anyway, Oregon, I think I can see 11, bro. Rose Bowl champions.
What I
11,
tell you? What I tell you?
11 Rose Bowl champs.
With a whole new staff.
Why not?
If you win
Why
11
not?
games, you're in the playoffs.
Well, if we win, what if we win 10 and then win the Rose Bowl?
Okay, that's more
That's why I said
feasible.
Rose Bowl champs.
But
But it's all going to depend on one thing and one thing only: quarterback play. If Bo Nix is solid, he doesn't have to be great, just solid. We're gonna freaking run the pack.
So the rest of the offensive weapons around him are nice, is what you're saying.
Yes, you'll see.
no, it
You'll
is
see.
nice.
You
No, it
will
is
see.
nice.
You will see the receivers this year. You will see the receivers. Remember the names: Dante Thornton Jr. and Troy Franklin. Remember
Now,
those names.
now
Those will
how
be household names. I promise you.
how are they supposed to be worth a damn if we over here having a conversation about the quarterback?
I'm saying if Bo Nix is solid, meaning he gets the ball to where the receivers need to be, or not need to be, but where the receivers are, we'll be good because the receivers. Okay, Dante Thornton is a like 6'4" receiver that fucking runs a 4.3 something. I mean, the dude can leap. He can fucking fly. And Troy Franklin is probably the more polished receiver. But those names you didn't hear an ounce of last year because we had fucking bum ass Anthony Brown running the offense and Mario Cristobal calling plays. Like, bro, it was
Anthony Brown was
bad.
trash.
It
I told
was
you Anthony Brown was
terrible.
trash. Okay, now listen. Here's another thing. Now I hear what you're saying. So you think y'all are gonna beat USC this year?
Correct. I
Now,
think
but
we're
now
running that.
you and Wicks both kind of shook your head with the 9 win season. Now, you guys, we all understand football, right? And we all know USC's defense is going to be mediocre to ass. That's just Lincoln Riley,
Yep.
right? We can all agree on that.
Their
Yep.
offense is going to be average. It's not going to be elite.
Man, that offense about to be
It's
fire.
good. It's going to be good. It's not going to be elite. It's
That
It's not going to be
offense-
like
elite.
everybody
That's what I'm
else
trying to
Man,
explain to people.
we just watched. I just watched Kenny Pickett become a first round pick in 1 year because of that man Jordan Addison. What you think he about to do over there with them boo boo behind Pac-12 defenses?
Listen,
He about to win the Biletnikoff again.
Pac-12 is better than ACC.
Stop. Trey's a liar.
You
Trey
put
is a
Utah.
liar.
You put Utah in the ACC. They're running that mug until
No,
they
they
get
are
to Clemson.
not.
Until they get to Clemson, they're running that mug.
You do realize Utah loses 2 to 3 games in the Pac-12 every year.
Yes,
They're
because
gonna
the
come
Pac-12 is crazy like that.
because they're trash. They're gonna come over here. They're gonna lose to Miami. They're gonna lose to Clemson. They're probably gonna lose to North Carolina. Last year, or actually for the last couple of years, they probably lost to Pitt and
Utah
North
was
Carolina
giving
State.
Ohio State that
Stop
work
playing.
with third string corners. They would run ACC.
It's cool for you to be able to get up for one big game.
They didn't get up for more than one big game. They win like 10, 11 games a season.
Because they only play 2 teams a season.
That's how the ACC works. What the hell
No,
are you
it's
talking
not.
about?
No,
Yes,
it
it
is
is. Y'all are trash in that conference, man.
Top to bottom, we the better conference.
No.
All I'm saying is y'all let Clemson, who had a down year last year, still win what, 10, 11 games?
And Steve, who the only people you can even have this conversation with is USC and Utah. At least in the ACC for the last 6, 7 years, there's been a new person in the ACC playing Clemson. It's been a new team for the last 6 years.
What does that mean? They're not beating Clemson.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Of course, no one's beating them. But look, it's literally only a 3-man race with y'all. That's it. And that's only for the last 5 years. Utah stop acting like Utah been doing that. Utah ass. They ass kicked. They done came up.
Kyle Whittingham is a top 5 coach in the
NCAA for the last 5 years. For the last 5 years.
He's besides that, it's been since they were in the Mountain West.
So Utah beating Florida?
Huh?
Is Utah beating Florida?
There's actually a great chance that happens. I don't know why you're bringing that up.
Is Utah beating Florida?
I would give Florida a -3 just because it's in the swamp, and I respect the swamp, unlike you.
I do respect the swamp. I just
do not respect the swamp.
I just don't like them. But we both know they're not beating Florida.
I can't say that because they play just like an SEC team. That's why I respect them. That's why I don't respect y'all because y'all are soft.
Yeah, but guess what? What does Utah have left besides that tight end, Brian Kuthi or whatever his name is?
All I know is we say this every year.
They still got who?
Rising, the quarterback.
He was mid too.
But this is the thing.
He was
we
young.
say this every year about Utah. Oh, they lost this and that. They lost Devin Lloyd, and then they just replace him and win 10 more games. They're literally like Wisconsin of the Pac-12. You're like, oh, they should be doo-doo. They should only win 7, 8 games. Then all of a sudden they got 10.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to say this one time and one time only. Since we want to have this conversation, the ACC will prove that they are better than the Pac-12 this year by having an overall combined better record than you.
I don't care about combined better record because you can play easier opponents.
No,
I'm saying
this. You have to care.
I'm going to do this.
You
I'm
have
going to do matchups straight down.
Because I said from top to bottom. I said from top to bottom.
Matchups straight down the line from number 1 to number 14.
Man, pull out. I want to see your list.
12.
Share the screen. I want to see team for team. Bomb.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it like this verbally. Okay, Oregon, Clemson. I'll give you Clemson.
Even right now,
you have to give it.
Right now, they will beat you. You do realize they have like the top 5, a top 3 defensive line in the nation. They're still a good team. They just have quarterback.
Hey, you realize their defensive coordinator that they've had for the past I don't know how long just fucking left for Oklahoma.
Until I see
it's a whole new scheme.
Until I see different, I gotta go with them.
It's fine.
All right, fine.
Okay, you lost your head coach. What we think gonna happen to you?
We probably upgraded, so I don't want to hear it.
Oh my god! You're lucky I did. Oregon fans are so freaking delusional, bro. Because when he was over there at Oregon, his overall record is 35-13. Now that he's gone, you buttholes are now all of a sudden he's not a good coach. He's not a good coach.
That's the
you can't do that.
You can't be a bad coach if you go into the shoe and take out a dub by 2 double digits. I'm sorry.
That's
a
what
good
I'm
coach.
saying.
He's a
We
good
get-
coach. Does he have his
Quick
flaws?
question. That same
Yes.
coach, that same year, got steamrolled by Utah 2 weeks in a row.
You're used to that. You are used to that because Stanford was normally doing it to y'all. So now Utah's been doing it.
Bro, if you are a good coach, you do not get crushed by the same team 2 weeks in a row. And according to Marcus, Utah ain't shit. So what does that say about Mario Cristobal? I'm just saying.
You did just
What
say
does that say about Cristobal?
That was
Hey,
you
hey,
took the dub,
listen.
Steve.
He
You took the
played down
dub.
to his competition.
He does. I ain't gonna lie. He definitely does. You'll
But
notice that when you guys are having a freaking overtime game against, I don't know who's one of the worst teams in
see, and
the
that's what's wrong with
Georgia
y'all.
Tech.
Y'all have been spoiled for the last what I'd probably say for the last decade. You've gotten used to Chip Kelly, Mario Cristobal. You got a little taste of winning, but let's not act like y'all haven't been asked before, Steve.
we
Stop acting.
technically, and we
eh,
have not
You,
had too many losing seasons
but
since
okay, you think
2000.
Chip Kelly's a good coach, right?
He was a very good X and O guy.
Was he a good coach? Yes or no?
Yes,
Why? Why?
college
Because
coach.
right, that's all we're talking about. Why was he a very good coach? Because he won football games, right?
Adjustments,
Because he won football games, Steven.
adjustments,
He won football games. That's what
adjustments.
he.
You can win and be a bad
Oh my
coach. You can
god.
win and still be a bad coach. I don't care what you say.
Okay, who was the bad coach
Les
that won?
Miles,
I knew Trey was gonna
Ogeron,
say Les Miles, but I don't think
Ogeron.
Les Miles was a bad coach.
Listen,
I think he just sucked on
Les
offense.
Miles is a terrible coach. Don't ever. I'm about to break my mic right now. I'm
Listen,
breaking my
no,
mic
you
right
can't
now.
say that.
Les
He
Miles
brought you
is a terrible
championships.
coach.
He brought you
No, he
championships.
stopped us from winning championships. We
No,
should.
Alabama
If you
stopped you
know
from
before Alabama got there, you go look at the 05, 06, 07 seasons. We won 07. We lost 2 games. We shouldn't have lost any games with that roster.
I
Les
agree.
Miles is a terrible coach. No one can tell me different.
Marcus. So
Won games.
here's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Winning games isn't always on the coach. It isn't. I don't care what you
Not when you're
say.
more talented than
It's
everybody.
it's the players.
Miami's been
Players
more
win you
talented
games.
than over half
Because
of the
so
ACC for so
Well,
long.
you guys can't
here
stop the run, so stop.
here's the thing.
Because our coach.
Here's the difference between a good coach and a mediocre coach. A good coach makes in-game adjustments.
Exactly.
When the game isn't going as planned, they can adjust and turn a 14-point deficit into like a 14-point dub. Mario Cristobal, he did that a couple times, but he could not do that consistently at all. Like,
okay, so
when we
let's
were down
call it like it is. Mario Cristobal, Ed Ogeron, all these dudes, they're position coaches. They're great recruiters.
Yep.
But that's about as far as it goes. They lean on the coordinators completely. So if you can do all you want, Marcus.
Because that's not making sense.
Yes, it
How
is.
can you sit here and say Mario Cristobal is first of all, just 5 minutes ago you said he was a good coach. Now you
He is a
backtracking
good coach.
because you want to get me started and riled up. So
He is a
stop.
good coach. I said he's a good coach. Yes, I did. His flaw is when you're a recruiting coach, when you're a players coach, you lean completely on your recruiters. When you look at Urban Meyer's tenure at Florida, when he had Dan Mullen, he was killing. When he had Charlie Strong, he had the best defense in Florida history. When he lost both of them, what happened?
That's
he
what you're
winning 8-9 games instead.
But that is what
11,
you're supposed to do. That's what
had to do Tebow.
You have to surround yourself with those kind of you have to surround yourself with those kind of guys. And that's what I'm saying, Steve. I do. I hear you Oregon fans. Because that's all you guys want to say on Twitter. Every last one. You guys hate this man because you felt like he held your offense back. Before you even have played a game, you guys are saying he's going to do that shit again. Well, let's look at it. He's at least taking the steps this time to not do that. He has put head coaches in positional spots. He is going to sit back and he's going to start relying on those guys from where he lacks. He went off and got the assistant coach of the year and the offensive guy. On top of that, he took Appalachian State. He took Appalachian State's head coach, who's an offensive mind, and turned him into a quarterbacks coach. He's doing that. Same thing with Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong is our linebackers coach. He's not.
Defense hasn't been good in years.
He's put himself in situations where, if need be, he can lean back and listen to somebody and get stuff figured out. I mean, we don't know. We have not seen one game played yet. But Oregon fans, stop coming to our Hurricane pages all butthurt. And for some reason, y'all find it. Y'all find us. Y'all find
Listen,
us.
Don't say me. I stay
Hey.
away. I just look and laugh. I just scroll and laugh. But
listen.
other people, yeah, they are a little more butthurt than me. I don't care. I mean,
Because he was a good
this
coach.
this one did not hurt as bad as Taggart, because I knew for what's the word I'm looking for? I knew for sure that if Miami job came calling Mario, there was no chance we were keeping him.
Now his mom being sick and everything.
Yeah, there was his mom being sick. There was he's from Miami. He played ball at Miami. Everything just connected to Miami.
It's like Kirby Smart in Georgia. Even if Kirby Smart got offered Alabama, he was going to Georgia.
Right.
Yep.
The thing is, Marcus. I think your season hinges on A&M. I swear it does. Because if you beat them, I could see the ball rolling. I could see it rolling until you ran to North Carolina and then they drop 500 yards rushing on y'all again.
Nah.
But that was
yeah, that's my heart for the last 2 years, bro.
I brought up that box score yesterday, and I was talking to my uncle about it. I was like, golly, 55 carries and 10 yards a carry, bro.
I watched it. I watched it.
I know.
Listen,
and the worst part about it is I could not stop watching it. I just kept watching, hoping that these boys would wake up and play better. And there was another big run.
You got them two boys drafted. The Jets thank y'all.
I know.
Listen, so I can see your season going from, if you beat A&M, it's at Kyle Field, right?
Yeah.
If you beat them at Kyle Field, I can see that being positive momentum to get into maybe 9-10 win season. I just don't see you with a first-year coaching staff. There's never been a first-year coaching staff that's just been completely new. Not like someone who's been supplanted, kind of like Ryan Day, that's ever just like rolled and just beat everybody. There's going to be a stumble because it's your first time in the conference. There's going to be someone who's doing something you haven't seen before.
I agree.
So I think 9-3 is very realistic. Like, I think LSU gets to 8 wins because I think that's just the SEC way of life. But then the next year, I can see us taking that next step.
But
I can see y'all doing the same thing. But
the thing with LSU, though,
right.
The thing with LSU that is a lot different from Miami is you guys are stacked with blue chippers and 5 stars everywhere. The only thing that's ever held LSU back is quarterback play. That's the biggest thing.
The last 2 years.
And y'all won championships.
No, we won 6-6.
Because you had an ass quarterback. I'm talking about with Joe Burrow.
Oh, when we had Joe Burrow. Joe Beasley was a different animal.
And I mean, think about it. Think about it. We was just talking about those teams. Me and I think it was me and the phone was just talking about. No, it was me and you talking about the Zach Mettenberger days, right?
Oh, man. All right, that dude doesn't get enough credit.
You put Zach,
you a beast dog.
You put Zach on that team that lost to Bama 9-6 in the championship. You can't tell me y'all don't win the championship.
He was on that team.
He wasn't the starter.
That's why Les Miles is a terrible coach.
Because he wasn't the starter.
Why are you trying to rile me up? I just told you he's a terrible coach. You told me he's a good coach. He got wins. That's exactly my point. You just proved my point. He was on the roster on the sideline. Just waiting to rip it.
If he was a starter,
instead I got Jared Lee out here seeing ghosts. I got Jordan Jefferson freaking laying up to linebackers.
Yeah, for real.
I got we can't even get across the 50. That killed me for that game lived on in my heart for years. That game really didn't leave my heart until 2019. Like, I almost became not a football fan because of that game. And then we couldn't, and then it hurt even worse because they just started on a roll of beating us. And that's Les Miles. Yeah. And that's Les Miles. Now, okay. I'm good now. I got it all out.
Hey, Trey, quick question though. So obviously you got Brian Kelly as your head coach now. Brian Kelly was obviously head coach in Notre Dame, which is a national brand. They were getting top recruiting classes all the time too. What makes you feel so confident though in your LSU boys?
We had two we had two short bus coaches win championships. So I'm pretty sure a competent coach can win a championship here.
Man, Brian Kelly don't get over the hump, man.
Listen,
Brian
all I know is
Kelly,
he took Notre Dame with all their restrictions to how many playoffs and how many championships.
and how many times did he get smoked in the playoffs?
Because he doesn't have the dogs. We have the dogs.
Hey,
When we can go get Jalen Brown out of Miami and take him and say, ha, 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 Miami can't recruit.
hey, ask Brian Kelly. Hey, you know, Brian Kelly's perfect. I'm so glad y'all got Brian Kelly because we can't beat y'all, but I know we can beat Brian Kelly ass.
So which way does it go? That's the only thing. Does he get the LSU cloak where you can't beat us, or do we get his cloak where you can beat us?
I don't know, but I'm hoping.
All I know is if we catch you this year, we probably beat y'all because we're better talent wise
and coaching wise.
Man, hey man, how do you kick people out, man? His time here is done. I don't know, man. I think it'll be close.
I don't know because again, y'all ain't physical enough. Not yet.
Not yet. I agree.
A little bit more physical. We like what I saw in the spring game. I was happy with because it was just slobber knuckles everywhere between the offensive and defensive line. We have a top 5 defensive line in the country. You don't realize it yet, but they're going to realize it. And that's going to be the difference in a lot of our games. And that's why I'm only scared of Ole Miss because of Lane Kiffin, Alabama because they're Alabama, and Florida is always a toss-up.
I hate that y'all are toss-ups in Florida, man.
Every time I come on the show, I say one thing every time. Jimbo can't coach. So I'm not worried about A&M.
Okay, so how you going to say that? And then when it's time for me to play him, you say that you just automatically assume they're going to beat us. This is what I'm talking about.
Kyle Field. You're playing at Kyle Field.
Did y'all play at Kyle Field? Did y'all play at Kyle Field?
You don't play them every year.
All right, I'm going to let you ease your way out of that. I'm going to let you ease your way out of that. Because you know I was about to catch you backpedaling. So I'm going to let you.
How? You weren't going to catch me. You can't catch me. Because Jimbo can't coach.
Hey, Mark, you need to post on Twitter a poll between who people think is going to have the best record of our teams.
My money. God.
That's tough.
You've both been on my show. Shout out to The Film Doesn't Lie. You've both been on my show. I got to watch the spring game with both of you from both your teams. It would be a good game if it was a neutral site game in Dallas, Texas. I'd probably have to go Oregon. Just because of their defense. Their defense is going to be good this year.
First of all, he wasn't talking about the matchup.
If Justin Flo stays healthy, our 2 backers are going to be the best backers in the league. Or in the nation.
If you take away what Mario built on that defense, I'd probably go Miami. Because if you talk about speed and stuff, you're in South Florida. I could take a 3-star receiver over a 4-star from anywhere else. That's why Jalen Brown being a 5-star is big time, right, Marcus? But that's the biggest difference right now between Oregon and Miami is the defense that Mario Cristobal built.
Now, while we're on that, because I did want to ask this question, Steve, how long did it take before you started seeing the drastic improvements in your defense?
In our defense, probably maybe mid-season of first year.
Hey, you heard that? You heard that, Trey? That's all I need. 6 games, and you telling me my defense is better than what they were before?
Listen, as long as you're not giving up 500 yards rushing in one game, that's progress.
Man, that's Manny Diaz special. Remember when BYU did that to Texas?
Listen,
that's that Manny Diaz special.
I don't know who's going to do it. Like, you're the son of Miami. He's the son of Miami. Them coaches get tossed out quicker than anybody.
But that's the thing. He is the son of Miami. But now we got the dad of Miami back home. We got the dad back.
You went from Randy Shannon,
who shouldn't have been fired yet,
to every time you get like a stopgap coach, and then you go back to someone from Miami, and then they get thrown out after 3 seasons, and then go wash, rinse, repeat. You're probably going the next head coach of Miami in 3 years is probably going to be
3
the Carolina
years.
Panthers head coach.
I think Cristobal is going to go at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, man.
Listen, all I know is the
He
head
would
coach
have
of the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes, next head coach of Miami Hurricanes is the head coach of the Carolina Panthers right now.
Matt Rule.
Yeah, because that's what y'all do. Y'all go from a son of Miami to a solid head coach, or supposedly solid head coach, and then you toss him out for another son of Miami.
The
So I'm
king of
pretty
my,
sure who's
the
going to be
don,
next after that? Ed
the
Orgeron.
goddad, the godfather of Miami is home, leading the way.
Listen,
We
all I can say is y'all got the best strength and conditioning coach. I give you that.
Thanks
Hey,
to Steve.
Who's the strength and conditioning coach?
Yours, Aaron Field.
Yeah. That's the dude from Georgia, ain't it? He was from
that's
Georgia.
yours
He's
with
yours.
the mustache.
He came
from Georgia. He came from Georgia first. We got him from Georgia, and then you plucked it from us. So yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
and
well,
you guys
I'm saying
also
thank you.
Joe Salavea. I think that's his name.
Yeah, and Alex Marable.
Yeah, that is the funniest coaching position coach I could think of, because that dude coaches the O-line. Yeah,
and he's so little.
He's the tiniest dude, bro. Makes me laugh every time, but he's a hell of a coach. But yeah, I mean, Joe Salavea, I liked him because he's a D-line coach.
Right.
And he probably was a big reason you guys got Jaden Wayne.
The big reason why we're going to get a few guys. But let's go ahead and wrap this one up. My final question to you guys. And obviously, I already know the answer. You're all going to go with your own teams. But out of our 3 teams, who's going to end the season with the best record?
I think
only one of us playing the SEC. That's not even a fair question.
So you're out.
Yeah, if we end up with the best record, that means that we're in the championship.
Yeah, true. Well, again, LSU's out.
Obviously, Trey already answered the question. He said Oregon, right?
I can't wait till USC spank y'all boys.
When do you play Washington State? Do you play Washington State in November? That's a trap game for me.
We just need to stay away from those games. We always have a game where we just lose to someone we have no business losing to.
It's normally Wazoo too. That's the funniest part.
And then Oregon State's sneaking good now. That's a rivalry game. That can, if it's rainy and wet, it can go either way.
Man, Oregon about to spank them boys too in the Civil War, man.
Yeah, now that we got that one coach out of there.
So,
hey, I don't hate Cristobal as much as shit as I'm talking about. I don't hate him that much, because at the end of the day, even though if a head coach does not reach expectations that I feel like he could, he still brought in a staff.
Yeah, that he left
brought in
better than he left you.
Yes, like Willie Taggart.
Agreed.
Like Willie Taggart. A lot of people hated him, but he was probably the best thing at the time that happened, because he brought Mario at the time. And then Mario became the head coach. And then he brought in a big staff. Then we started recruiting like crazy, like Dan Lanning's doing right now. So,
and that's the thing. It's just all about, the domino effect. Like the guy you have has to bring in the right guys, like you said earlier, and then it just goes from there. That's just the way college football works, especially college compared to the pros.
Yep. And before we leave, I got one other topic that I saw on Twitter. They were saying, does a coach make Oregon, or does Oregon make a coach?
Coach makes Oregon.
You think so?
Bro, y'all suck.
Y'all
so long.
Y'all don't have like a football hotbed like Ohio or Louisiana or Florida or Texas.
Right.
Y'all have to reach out.
But
so it's all on how much effort a coach puts into recruiting. Because we've seen now that y'all can recruit a top 10 class. I never thought y'all could do it with Chip Kelly, but
we've done it with multiple coaches.
Exactly. Now,
because look what happened to those coaches that left us. What have they had? What has happened? Chip Kelly.
I mean, UCLA is probably going to beat y'all this year. I wasn't going to say nothing, but
they might. Chip Kelly's doing his thing. I mean, he did pretty good last year, but I mean, I mean, we'll see. We'll see about that. I don't think they're there yet. But you had Chip Kelly. He left, and then he got fired like twice. And then Taggart, he left. That dude, I don't even know where he's at no more.
Let me ask you this, Kelly.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Dan Lanning or Josh Heupel right now?
Dan Lanning.
Josh Heupel building a beast out there in Tennessee. I don't know.
I mean, shit. When you're paying that much for recruits, I mean, he's paying more than
Mr. $4 million.
Well, the thing is too, Oregon, since they went with Mario, I would probably say Dan is probably the easier fit. They're not going to go through a culture shock with Dan. Now, if this was after Chip Kelly, and even after Willie Taggart, yeah, you'd have to go with Josh.
I think their offense would be more explosive with Josh. I think that's getting back to the old Oregon.
Of course.
Well, yeah, offensively, yeah. I mean, Dan Lanning isn't an offensive guy, but
I mean, y'all probably gonna be set at running back for a while, but everywhere else, like I don't know your wide receiver depth. I know you gave us 2, but
we got just wait and see. As long as Bo Nix is solid, not great, but solid, you'll see the receiver core.
Because I know we got a sneaky good one on our side, led by Mr. Kayshawn Boutte.
Mm-hmm.
How are your wide receivers, Mark?
Man, we gonna figure it out.
If I had $1 for every time I heard you say Miami is young, man.
No, but
because we play freshmen. The only problem is we keep playing these niggas. No. We don't ever.
Here's the problem, Marcus. So you can get a 3-star wide receiver from Florida, Tyquan Thornton. We just saw at Baylor. Freaking what's the name, Shavers from Louisville. You can get a 3-star wide receiver at Miami, and he'll be an all-star. But y'all never find them.
Nope.
You get Mike Harley.
We miss on them. We do.
I can understand the Bama ones where you lose Jerry Jeudy and Amari Cooper and all that, but there's ones that you don't even recruit.
Even Tutu. Tutu was from what, Northwestern, wasn't he?
Quarterback at Northwestern.
How we miss on that? You know, it's. I'm 100% with you. We've been missing, but I like who we have now. I like where we're at now. Now they got to produce. These guys have always been hurt or young. Now they got to play.
That's why I couldn't understand why any Miami fan would get mad at Jaylen Brown for going to a place that produces wide receivers.
I'm not mad at Jaylen Brown.
No, I know you're not. I'm talking about Miami Twitter, Miami 24/7. Oh, yeah. All y'all. I'm calling out all y'all.
No, you're right, because they were selling out, talking about some dude going to be a bust. I'm like, man.
They talk about he getting bullied by the Washington Twins and stuff. They ain't going to stop him. If Miami's offering the same amount as LSU, he would have gone to Miami.
Right. They were just being butthurt, man. You saw they was trying to say he's gonna be the next Mark Pope. He's gonna be Mark Pope all over again.
I'm like,
man, yeah, they gotta chill out with that. They just being hurt because they weren't saying that 2 weeks ago when he was
exactly. He was the best wide receiver in the state.
And When he was the lead, he was the best in the country. And all of a sudden he's gonna be Mark Pope. Come on, y'all gotta stop that.
Nothing funnier than grown men get mad at kids for making a college decision.
Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie. When me and Trey used to get up, I used to slide to Trey house at like 7 in the morning to watch National Signing Day. That shit used to have me hot, boy. I used to be like, these motherfuckers, dog. But yeah, now that I'm older and now that I know I'm a lot more. There's more than just a kid going to your favorite school. Like that's what people look at it as. Like, oh man, we miss out on this big time talent going to our school. Let's get mad. Let's break things. It's way more into that. You can't be mad at that kid for making a business decision because that's exactly what it is.
You never know what it's about. It could be some kind of deal he's made with the school for his family. New house, getting people out of prison. There's a lot of stuff that goes down people don't know about.
It is.
That keep people home. So you don't know.
So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank y'all for being on the show. Man, it's always a good time doing college football because it's always something going on. Like whether it's recruiting, whether it's coaching changes, or whether it's just talking simple predictions. It's always something. It's always a good time. And I definitely wouldn't do it without you two. You guys are my boys, and y'all the best. Y'all the next best college football heads I know besides myself. So thank y'all. So, as always, Steve-O, $18,000 kid, thank you for being on the show.
Yep, no problem. Always glad to be on.
And also, guys, before we leave, listen, do not forget to also tune in to Trey's podcast, Film Doesn't Lie. I'm telling you, you will see things that you will put things together that you wouldn't think you put in. Me and Trey referenced this episode so much because the players, he's such a big household name, but Richard Young, I'm telling you, we think he's overrated. It's not because we watched it and we've seen a 3-star film who's just as good. Go check out the show. I'm telling you, you'll not be disappointed.
Listen,
Check out the show.
if he commits to Oregon, he wouldn't even be the best back at Oregon. You got to find out who would be though. Watch the Film Doesn't Lie. Top running backs in the country. Let's go, Steve.
Hey man, Trey, tell them where they need to follow you at, man.
You already know Liftoff County Prep, Liftoff Football. Just search Twitter, Facebook, anything. We're on there.
Yep, check out YouTube as well. He's on there. So thank you guys for tuning in. You guys already know. Like, comment, subscribe, follow. I'm on all social media platforms under NBA Cast. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Doesn't matter. You'll see us. We're also on your favorite podcasting platform. So just check us out, man. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Deuces.
Kingsley